Hello, everyone. What is going on? It's Jen Lamprey. I am so excited to be here with you. I am your body love expert, and every single week we pick a body part and a value so you can go deeper with your body, understand your body more at an emotional, spiritual, physical, and mental angle. And so today, though, I have a super special, exciting, because this is one of my new favorite people, you guys. I've been getting to know Marnie the last couple months, and I love her. But first, so I want to introduce her, because today is, every day I have a specific subject, or not subject, but like a container, basically. And the container today is the emotional aspect of throat and expression. And so Marnie decided to do the emotional day to talk more about the throat, but expression and how to release these fears in order to step into greater expression. And what I want to do first is I want to share you from my page to another page, if that's okay. Another thing really quick I want you guys to know before I introduce Marnie is that when you share, just like last week, you actually get a ticket or a little love ticket into a drawing. So Marnie is giving away an amazing gift bundle for that one person that wins. So I am going to share you over here. Marnie, I don't know if you want to share on your page, but I will tag you on mine, so that we have you over there and get you around everywhere. So I don't know if you guys share, but please make sure that you let us know that you shared in the comments, because what's happening is it's not letting me see everybody that shares, because your privacy, your awesome privacy that might be on your Facebook page isn't letting that happen. So just be aware of that. And here we go. So Marnie is, you guys, seriously amazing. And I could talk about her for like an hour to tell you all these amazing things about Marnie. But she is actually a marketing, I call her my marketing and business therapist. I know that sounds kind of that's not her title, but that's my title for her. And hold on one second. I'm just trying to get this figured out. Hold on. Marnie, can you hear me? I just want to make sure that it's working properly, because sometimes it goes. Okay, cool. So let me tell you a little bit about Marnie. She helps people leverage their wisdom and stories to create visibility, education, influence, and sales in the online marketplace. Whether she's helping you distill your wisdom into books and information products or create visibility for your company, Marnie focuses on creating connection and loyalty. Oh, I love that, Marnie. You really do. Her services include content creation, social media, and Facebook ad management, consulting, and training. And we are going to be talking to Marnie for the next half an hour. She's going to be talking about her brilliant. She's going to be sharing so many cool little tips and tools and things that we get to utilize. Really, you'll be able to even utilize today. Am I right, Marnie? So. Oh, yeah. All right, my thing is kind of stopping, so I apologize. I'm trying to figure it out as I'm talking, but here we go. All right, Marnie, so I'm so glad you're on. Thank you so much for doing this and being a part of our Facebook Live today, and just this whole space that we've been creating with the values and the body parts. So what are you going to be talking about today, Marnie? What's going on with you?
Well, I work with a lot of people on getting their messages out, their books maybe, or maybe they want to create an information product, or they want to do like you and create like events, or, do these Facebook Live type things. And they have a lot of things that hold them back. And a lot of times it just kind of looks like procrastination, or always taking more and more training and never feeling like you have enough of it together to really put it out in the world yet. And a lot of times it shows up externally as, the perpetual student, or life getting in the way, the little things. Well, I was going to do that this week, but, my kid was sick. And so, all these little things that just come up, when really underneath are 7 common fears that I've identified. And I'm sure there's lots more fears. And I'll just run through those really quick, but we're going to zone in on just one of them today. But there's the fear of success, where a lot of times that's an interesting one because you wouldn't think you would be afraid of success, but just to give you a touch on that one, right? And Jennifer, isn't it one of yours? Is freedom one of yours?
Yes, it is. You cut out a little bit, but I think I got what you said.
Okay, I was saying freedom is a big value for us as entrepreneurs a lot of times. And so a lot of us equate success with a bunch of responsibility and a bunch of things tugging at us. And so we don't want to trade our freedom for success. We think that success is too expensive in the freedom department, when really it's the opposite. If you do it right and you have your systems in place, you actually create more freedom when you're successful. But a lot of people avoid success because of that. So anyway, I'm a little bit off our main subject.
I know, but actually this is huge because that ability to express ourselves is freedom. That's what, we allow. And so I love what you just said, that and this is why I'm so happy to have you in my life and you're helping me so much, is putting my systems in place. That's my goal this year. And I love how you said, we think we're trading our freedom for success, but when we have our systems in place, what you just said to me is so powerful for all of us. I don't think we really understand how important systems are, and in our own expression, like when we have our systems in place, we can express ourselves. Systems can be different in any situation. I get, just so people know. But anyway, I just really had to reestablish what you just said because it's powerful.
Great. I'm glad you tied that in because it's a big part of it. And for me, like I'm putting my own systems in place this year and planning everything out because I want the freedom to express. I want to be able to write. I want to have time to do the things that I really enjoy, working with the people I enjoy, to express myself and my family, all of those kind of things. So the systems are big for that. Another fear that we have is fear of failure. That one comes up a lot. It looks like perfectionism, things like that a lot of times. Some people have a fear of confrontation, and that also can hamper your fear, this expression. If you're afraid that if you say what's really on your heart, that it's going to offend someone else, or it's going to make someone else feel small, or, when you're worried about other people's response to you when you express, will you get criticism? Will you, some people have very subjects that they feel called to talk about that involve other people in their lives. You're dealing with that to some degree, where you have a spouse that intersects with your message. So that confrontation can come up.
Well, I just want to say, yesterday we did talk about the fears that keep us from expressing. We actually did. Some of the things why we don't express. And one of the things we were talking about was what I mentioned was about abuse. I know a lot of women are abused or mentally, physically abused. And so I think you're tying that right in. It's not just offense, but it's like you actually can get hurt, like physically hurt, or go back into PTSD symptoms or whatever. It's, these are very real things that a lot of people are going through right now. So yeah, that makes sense. Offending others could be a big one.
Yeah. It can be something as serious of a history of abuse to just something that a first grade teacher made fun of you when you said something in a class, and that's, you made a decision about that. I worked with a lady one time who made these little beads at school when she was little, and she'd sell them to her friends for like $1. And, made her some extra money doing it and was excited about it. But then one of the mothers felt like she was taking advantage of her schoolmates and went to the teacher and made a big stink and made a big deal out of it with their parents, and she had to give the money back, and it was this created something huge for this lady long term, where she couldn't put her work into the world. She couldn't express herself because she felt like she was told she's taking advantage of people when she does that, and something so formative in those formative years can be causing you to hold back. there's kind of how the confrontation kind of comes in. There's the downright fear of expression, which I'll talk about in a minute. The lack of support. Sometimes we feel like we're not supported in expressing ourselves, that maybe we're not heard, we're not valued, we're not seen when we do express ourselves. Maybe you have somebody in your life who demeans you when you express yourself, and you don't have those supportive relationships to do it. And a big part of my journey has been surrounding myself with supportive people. And I think that's what you're doing really in your work, Jennifer, is help and create that support system for people who may not have it. Did you want to add anything there?
No, I think that I love that you're doing this. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. That's how much, look at how much I love it. I'm just copying up everything. I just love it. No, really, though, it's so important. Oh, you go ahead.
Okay. All right. Another fear that comes up or thing that kind of storm cloud, I call it, that blocks your light, is scarcity thinking. And I know Jennifer works a lot with the manifestation work and law of attraction and all that kind of stuff. And so the scarcity, I've seen that come up with expressing your ideas. Some people don't want to share their ideas for the fear that, okay, this is my big idea, and if I put it out, I may not have more ideas. Or what if somebody steals this idea, and then, there's a lot of scarcity that comes in expressing yourself as well. I think we don't realize that when you really dive deep into what you're here to do and dive deep into your purpose, you're going to get more and more and more. I mean, Jennifer, would you ever run out of anything to talk about? Probably not.
But you know what? That is I actually think we need to do a show just around that, Marnie, because I think that is because scarcity is one of the things that's keeping people from doing anything, is that energy of scarcity. And I didn't even think about putting that as one of the fears for expression. I love that you just identified and connected that to it. Makes so much sense, though.
Yeah.
It's that competitive energy, right? We're in competition, so we can't give any of this until we know exactly what we're going to do or what we're going to say.
Yeah.
Love that.
And heaven forbid somebody else does the same thing that we were thinking of. Oh, well, we can't do that now. As if there could only be one eye, ears, nose, throat doctor in the world or something.
Right.
All of us do what we're here to do. Even if it's the exact same thing that somebody else is doing, there's only one of you, If anything's scarce, it's you. You and your unique blend of who you are, that is what is really scarce. So, and it's also what you bring to.
I love it. I'm going to be looking back at this video and making that into a little meme or something by Marnie Marcus. That's a good one.
Yeah. And, well, the other one, I'm not sure if I tie it directly into expression, although it could be. I think I do have an example of how this one could tie into the fear of expression. I call it the savior complex. And this is the feel like you've got to be in control and you've got to fix it. And you may it may show up as like fear of delegating, of getting other people involved in what you're doing. It could be, it could show up as running to your children's aid every time they have a problem, like a helicopter parent, you want to make sure it's all okay. Mm-hmm. I'll give you an example. I'll just call this lady's name Jane. I'm not going to mix names. I'm not going to make it where anybody would know who I'm talking about. So Jane is a phenomenal songbird. I mean, this woman sings like just amazing, just phenomenal singer. And they're just in awe when she sings. And I was working with her one time on her, we were trying to get the root of some of her weight issues. And she's a big girl. And really, when we got it all down to it, she was afraid that with all of her mix of talents, that people would feel bad if she had it all. If she had the great body and the voice and the other talents, she had to have something to make her yeah, but she's fat, she wanted something to and in a way, that's your fear of expressing the fullness of who you are, the full greatness of who you are. But it was also a little bit of a savior complex because she was afraid how the other people were going to feel, that they would feel less than, that they would feel sad, that they didn't have as much, or that, that they would compare and that they would go somewhere that wasn't healthy. And she didn't want to be the source of some people going somewhere where it's not healthy.
Gosh, Marnie, can I share a little story about this? Because you just seriously clipped something for me. And I hope that other people, again, you guys share this broadcast, because I already am writing down so much stuff and so many notes. I'm telling you, Marnie is just seriously an expert at this stuff. And she knows how to support you to get your stuff out and to have your voice expressed. But I just want to share this really quick story. When I was at my last Quickening, the Quickening in Utah, and actually there was a woman who brought a light therapy. I can't remember the name of it, but it's the one where you lay down and it had the light and the noise and stuff. And I was so crazy that Quickening, literally, like it was one of the hardest things I've ever done was that Quickening, because I tried to do it all myself. And we had some people that, couldn't lead and do the things that we had agreed on. And so I had to take over those spots. And I laid there for she kept asking me, you need to do this, you need to do this. And it was like the third day or the second, I can't remember. And I laid there and I did it for 5 minutes. And literally the light went into my, we talk about this being the third eye, but I could feel that light penetrating my eye, and I could cry. I felt and saw who I was. All of me. And it was in a flash, I saw it. And in a flash, I realized that I am so scared, excuse the term, crapless, that I cannot be that whole person, because it will literally I could see people were not going to be able to be their full expressions around me. Like what you just said. But what I'm saying is, when you just said that connected to the savior complex, it just hit me when you said that may be what's going on for me, is that I've had that savior complex since I was young, for when my sister died and I thought that I didn't save her, and all this stuff. So it's so interesting when we look at, I hope you guys are writing these down, or when you go back and look at these things and really, search yourself, where are these showing up in your life? And I know we're going to go deeper into one specific one, which I'm so happy about, but thank you for that. Just awareness right now, Marnie.
Yeah, that's a cool experience, because I think few of us see that in ourselves. We may see the greatness in others, but in ourselves, it's a little harder to see.
Well, I have to write down, Alicia, when you get on, or if you watch this, write down your light therapy, because I don't know what that did, but it was bam. And then I 5 minutes, I'm I'm out of here. I gotta go back to work. So anyway.
So just the downright fear of expression is the one that we were talking about. And it's interesting, because I never have taken all of the others and explained it the way we did today, all in relation to the fear of expression, but they all really tie into that. That's, if you look back at Adam and Eve in the garden kind of thing, the very first thing they felt was embarrassment, shame. When they did what they did, it's this embarrassment. It's shame. And I think at the root of probably every fear that we have is this embarrassment, shame sort of thing, that, if we really show up fully, maybe other people are not going to like the way what we're saying, or how we're showing up, or they're going to feel bad. All these mix of emotions, of worrying about what other people think, and our own, what are we going to think of ourselves even sometimes. But what I do is I usually go through the symptoms of these fears and then the causes. So the symptoms of the fear of exposure, or the fear of expression, is you create things, but you never release them. I'll give you an example of a gal named Nancy. Again, fictitious name. So Nancy, real person, fictitious name. Nancy had like 50 books on her computer. I was actually at her house, saw her stuff. I mean, the woman had enough to write 50 books, and they were pretty much done, but they're just sitting on her computer. And she'd never put them out. Never. Well, they weren't good enough. They were never good enough. There might be something more that she might want to add to them, but they were just sitting there. So if you're always creating, but you're not putting it out, that could be a symptom of the fear of exposure, or, I'm calling it a fear of exposure here on this one. Another one might be perfectionism. Again, it's not good enough to release. It's not, I might need to do something else to it. I always say if Microsoft can get away with releasing some of the stuff that they've done over the years, then you can get away releasing something that's not perfect. I mean, they do a pretty good job, but they put it out and then they let their people test and tweak, and then they release patches of it or whatever. So your stuff does not have to be perfect to really. Another symptom of the fear of exposure is kind of a paralysis when it comes to speaking, maybe public speaking, making videos, making audios. I thought I didn't have that problem because I make videos all the time. I'm always making videos. But when the very first time I was going to do a Facebook Live, or maybe the second or third time, I'm like, I can't edit this. What if I say something really stupid? And I didn't mind doing live stuff like what we're doing here if there's somebody else on board. But all by myself, there was a little bit of, there was still that fear, So I don't know that we ever completely conquer all of these things. But
well, I think the Facebook Live, I think, is really, it's one of those things that I think a lot of people are dealing with, and that's why it shifted so much of media and so many things, I think, because of just what you're talking about. It exploded our sense of self-expression. I mean, it really did. It allowed people to come out of hiding and to do things that they wouldn't normally do. And it's kind of opened up people and exposed people in a different way than ever. So you're probably, even because you're sensitive to people's, energies and stuff too. So anyway, I think that that's a great one to bring up as far as that ability to expose. I tell people, please, like in my groups, please do Facebook Live. Just do it. Just try it one time. And then you just kind of get over that hump a little bit, so you can start being vulnerable in a way that you've never been vulnerable before. So I love that you just share that. Because like me, look, I had a coughing attack. I have to go out there. You can't do anything. I mean, it could do probably something about it, but right now everybody just sees it. How awesome, right? Yeah. It is what it is. It's us. So anyway, not to interrupt, but I love that. Thank you.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And another kind of symptom of the fear of exposure is weight issues. I see this a lot with women. We put on the weight as a protection from being exposed in whatever way that may show up. And I gave you the example of the gal, so I won't go back to that. All right. So the causes of this fear of exposure is generally it could be a past trauma of some kind. And like I say, that could be something as small as what a teacher said to you on up to, real abuse of some kind. So that trauma is held in there. It could even be generational trauma. It could be something that happened to an ancestor. And they're now realizing that it actually writes to our DNA when we go through traumatic experiences. And then that can be passed on into, our cellular memory. There's all kinds of data that they're finding is being stored in our DNA. So that's another possible place to look. Criticism from others can also be a cause of it. For example, I worked with a lady once who was really good on video, but she was scared to post them. And I was like, why won't you post them? And she said, because every time I look at a YouTube video, there's just all of this criticism. and all of these, people ragging on him and everything. And she was looking at really popular videos where people got nothing better to do than just rip people apart, and I was like, turn the comments off. With the YouTube video, turn the comments off. I actually have a good friend who's a really phenomenal author, and she cannot take criticism. I mean, if somebody criticizes her books or whatever, it really sends her in a spiral. It takes her out of her creative zone. And so I'm kind of getting a little bit ahead of myself kind of on the solutions to some of this, but what she ended up doing is her husband, that was actually his idea. He says, "You're not reading your mail anymore. I'm reading your mail, and I'm only giving you the good stuff." So, and it works for her, So in a way, what I'm talking about here is creating a little bit of a safety net. Mm-hmm. And this goes into my solution of how to deal with these things. I don't know how much time we have left, but I want to give you quick.
About 5 more minutes or so, just because I have another thing that I have to take my daughter to preschool. So, or else I would want to stand here for another half an hour with you, Marnie, or hour. But just go for it. Whenever it ends, it'll end. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I just wanted to give you.
I do want to stop just for a second. I want you guys to know also that, again, if you guys share this, that you get this bundle. I'm going to put that up in here really quick. I do have to let you guys know because this is awesome. She is author of 25 books, you guys. This woman knows how to write a book. So if you have all this content and stuff, she has so many wonderful offerings. I'm trying to find where I have it. So here it is right up here. There's the link. If you share this, that's a link. Check that out. Those are the 5 books that you're going to get in the bundle if you win from putting those, sharing and getting a ticket. But Marnie, I don't mean to interrupt you. I just want to make sure that people understand that is a pretty amazing gift. So I just want to thank you for offering that for everyone to possibly win. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do they need to send you a note if they do share it? You said
no. Right? Oh yeah. Thank you. Put it in the comments that you did share, because you have privacy settings on your Facebook, and so sometimes it won't let me know that you shared. So I just want to make sure that we know that you shared. Thank you for telling me or reminding us that.
Okay, so just a quick way, to break through this is the first thing you got to do is you got to acknowledge that you've got the fear. So if something hit you today when we were talking and you thought, I think I might have that savior complex, or I think I have the fear of exposure. The first step is just to acknowledge that you've got it, and then to ask, okay, is the fear valid? Is it something that really could happen? People could make critical remarks. If she's got a fear of criticism, they could do it. It is a valid thing. But the next thing you want to ask is it in your highest good to keep that fear? So is it in her highest good not to ever put her message out in the world and help the thousands of people she could help because somebody might have a bad day and write something mean on a video? If you put them on the scales in a logical way, it's probably not worth hanging on to it. So if you decide it's not in your highest good to hang on to the fear, then what I usually say is you create some kind of a safety net. So the safety net in that example is turn the comments off, or the safety net in the example of my colleague that's the great writer is her husband checking her email and only giving her the good kudo emails. Find a practical way to create a safety net. Another way is, to use some of these methods that Jennifer uses, or, the energy work, different things like that, to create an energetic safety net and create some new beliefs about things. And then one of the best ways, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, so for you, have you, what's your safety net? What do you usually, when you have something, do you have a go-to that you like to have? Because you know yourself pretty decently well, I'm sure. What is something that you know that you have, like a fear that you're very aware of, and this safety net? I'm just curious.
That kind of goes into my next step, and this is the one I use, is I emotionally detach from it. And I look at it as it just is. It's just a thing. Somebody said something. It's just their opinion. They may have had a bad day. Whatever it is, it's just words. Okay, so it's detached that it's about me. It's probably more about them. And then I look at it and say, okay, does it hold validity? Like I used to have a website that get 10 million page views a month, and I got lots of good kudos, but I got people ragging on me about things. So I learned, I mean, I couldn't be thrown for a loop every minute of my life, you know, every time I got a criticism. So I would step back and say, okay, is this valid? What page is there a problem on? Let me go to that page. Does it have an error? Is it hard to understand? How might I make it better? If I really can improve it, improve it. If not, let it roll off my back. It's just that person having a bad glitch with their computer or a bad day, you know. So disconnecting from it always having to be so personal is one of the things that I use as a safety net.
Well, I love that, Marnie, too, because it's almost like going, because our hearts want good, like I've shared last week. And so as your heart's wanting the good, like you said, there's going to be all these different, when your heart's open and exposed, there's a lot of things that can flow in. So to go to the mind, the head, and logically be able to, you know, counterbalance that, and then be able to maybe go back into the heart and then step into the heart. So it's like you're creating this actually really cool relationship with your heart and your mind, it sounds like, as you're going through that process. Because again, it's awareness, right? It sounds like you're being an awareness and consciousness of what is going on in yourself, knowing yourself too while you're doing that.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, that's what it sounds like. All the stuff you're talking about is awareness. It's just getting aware and making some choices that are going to support you to success.
Yeah. And then the last one is just act as if. Act as if you know what you're doing. You know, like you're saying, go ahead and make the Facebook Live. Do it anyway. You know, just act as if you're cool about it. You know, get through it. Almost everything disappears if you can get through it the first time. If you can do it once, you know.
Ooh,
and I do that with, like, in my Breakthrough to Radiance thing. A lot of times I'll challenge them to make a video if they're scared to make a video. And invariably, if they can make one, they can make more. They just got to get through it the first time.
Well, and that, I love that. Again, another meme for Marnie right there. We're going to create a little Marnie meme. There you go. Marnie memes. Marnie, we need to have Marnie memes on your website. No, I think that this is so helpful, and I'll even have to write down in the comments these specific ones, and maybe you already have them written down and we can post them on there so that people can really look at this and go, okay, like you said, identify it.
Yeah. Now, if they want to go in depth on those 7 things, I've got a free training on that. And I re-listened to it this morning, and it's really dang good, even if I say so myself. So
I don't know how anything you do could not be dang good. I mean, I'm serious when I say that. So you guys really, I've been working with her every week, and she is truly brilliant. I'm going to put that in here for them to check it out. Thanks, Marnie. And then we'll put it up on the. Is there anything?
If they want the full training, that will eventually, like the next page after they get that, they'll get a training. And if they want the full training that's talked about on the page after that, you can get it today by midnight and save $40 if you put Jennifer in.
Ooh.
Breakthrough to Radiance.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, so is this another link the Breakthrough to Radiance? Is that the link that you gave me?
Yeah, the cloud thing will take you to it, but then also if you want just the direct link to the full class, it's marniemarcus.com/radiance. And then if you put Jennifer in, you get $40 off, and that includes a 1-hour session with me. So,
I'm going to write this in here. 40 off. Awesome.
And that's good for tonight.
So is there anything that of all the things that you're talking about, that like one little just end jewel, Marnie, that you would say in this whole realm of expression, and especially again connected to all of your knowledge and what you know, you express yourself in so many different ways. I mean, again, with marketing, you have to kind of be an expression expert. I mean, really, to understand how people are expressing and what is their way of expressing, and even in your books and stuff. So what would be like this one jewel that you would just leave us with?
I think the secret to it is anytime you have an epiphany moment, an aha moment, something that just really comes to you strongly, document it immediately in whatever form feels good to you, whether you write it down or you put it as a Facebook post, or you want to make a video or an audio, or, you know, a voice recording on your phone. I mean, it doesn't have to be shared out, but I have a process of where I learn it, or it comes, I document it, and I share it. Learn it, document it, share it, just constantly. That's just the cycle. And then you'll get more, and you'll get more, and you'll get more, and you'll get more. But the more you share and express, the more will be given to you. You do not run out, and it's in an endless well the more you stay in that zone.
I just love, I mean, that is such a perfect jewel. Learn it, document it, share it. Learn it, document it, share it. That's powerful, Marnie.
And don't force it into a medium that you're not in the mood for. Use whatever medium you're in the mood for. If you feel like speaking it, speak it. If you feel like writing it, write it. You know, Facebook Live, whatever. Because I switch between, I have different moods. And if I had to force myself to write when I'm in the mood to just say it, it wouldn't come out as well.
And that's another jewel, because I think that's so important. Again, so many times we think we have to do it one way. And again, we compare to other people. Well, if I don't do it this way, then it's not really valuable, or it doesn't mean anything. And really what it comes down to is, and what I'm hearing, all the things that you're talking about, it's really what you said before about freedom. And I know that that's one of your big things that you hold space for women and men and all of us, is to really live in freedom in ourselves and out there in the world. And I'm so grateful that you do that. We need more of you, Marnie. We do.
I'm scarce.
I love it. Yeah, you definitely told us that today too. You are scarce, you guys. So seriously, remember that. And that what you have matters. That's the thing too. What you have matters. I do that in the masterminds all the time. We do these masterminds where we all are masterminding for one person. And what we do is we tell them, and so many people won't, at first few times of masterminds, they won't say a word. And I always tell them, even if it's one thought that you're like, oh, nobody will care about this. Oh, this doesn't mean anything. Say it anyway. Just say that one thing in 1 second, because it could spark somebody else to say something else. And then your mind will go to another place. And literally the expansion, when we express what's going on inside of us, when we really share who we are, it is this unification and this huge expansion of all of us, all of our personalities. And it's so enriching and fulfilling, and I know that's what you are wanting people to do, is to enrich us. And, so I'm really grateful for you. Is there any last little things you want to share before we hop off? Again, you guys, the links are in the comments for her, and you get $40 off till tonight for the Breakthrough to Radiance, which I love that you call it that. Anything else you want to share before we hop off, Marnie?
Love you to pieces. That's all I gotta say. Thank you.
You too. Hopefully we'll have you back on, because I could have you on all the time, because I love, and I know that you're supporting a lot of people. So thank you everyone also for being on and sharing. We so appreciate you. And again, remember, check out that bundles that you're going to receive 5 different books that she's written that you'll receive in that bundle that we will send to you for the winner of sharing this. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Remember, tomorrow we're going to be talking about the mental aspect of expression and the physical aspect of the throat, and how to really heal the throat physically so that you can have more power to express who you are from the center. So thanks again, Marnie. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Marnie, you can hang on for just a second. I'm just going to end this here. Thank you.